Here are the main differences between the HyperX Cloud Alpha 2 and Cloud 3S. The quick summary is the Alpha 2 has more versatile connection options, includes a base station, has cloth instead of pleather, and it has better tuned drivers. However, the Cloud 3S does have access to more stable software. The first difference is how these headsets connect. While both work on PC and PS5, the Alpha 2 also works on Xbox Series S and X, though this is only when used wired with the included 3.5mm cable. The Cloud 3S cannot be used wired at all. Both headsets can be used with 2.4 GHz wireless and Bluetooth. The Alpha 2 can do these simultaneously. The Cloud 3S has to toggle between them using this switch on the headset. For 2.4 GHz, the Cloud 3S uses a USB-C dongle with a Type A adapter included. The Alpha 2 uses this base station for its 2.4 transmitter. This also provides convenient access to different controls. There's volume wheel, mic mute, mic volume, game chat volume mixer. This only works on PC. Side tone, headphone mute, equalizer. On launch, this didn't work at all. And as of this recording, it still doesn't actually do anything yet. And media play and pause. There's also a switch on the left to toggle the audio output to either the Alpha 2 headset or to the 3.5mm port. And this thing puts out a lot of power, so it's great for other headsets and headphones that need extra volume. However, it does cause a lot of feedback in the in-ear monitors I've used with that are low impedance. You can change the lighting and apply a lot of different settings to the base station in the NGENUITY software, but as of this recording, none of those save to the base station itself, and they reset to default once the app is closed and reopened. The controls on the headset itself are also slightly different. Cloud 3S, mic mute button, power button also will tell you the battery life, right ear cup media control button, volume scroll wheel, infinite scroll, and then the toggle that switches between Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz. Now on the Alpha 2, power button, same thing with the amount of battery life that it has. Mic mute, both of these, the microphone turns red, has a small red light when it's muted. Then the right ear cup, this toggles between either 2.4 GHz with the base station only or Bluetooth plus 2.4 GHz. Then there's the media control button for playing and pausing tracks like on Bluetooth, same as the Cloud 3S, and infinite scroll volume. For the Cloud 3S, the volume actually controls the system volume, and on the Alpha 2, at least currently, it only controls the volume of the headset itself. In terms of the battery, the Cloud 3S gets up to 120 hours with the dongle and 200 on Bluetooth. The Alpha 2 lasts up to 250 hours, 2.4 GHz, and 125 with simultaneous audio mode, which you have to set it to if you want to use the Bluetooth. Now, these are just the stated numbers. In reality, my Alpha 2 gets closer to about 100 hours because I always have it on dual audio mode. The Cloud 3S numbers are probably about right, but I always charge it before remembering to check. So both of them are going to last a week easy, but I don't know exactly how long the Cloud 3S battery goes for. When it comes to the build, both are quite comfortable and very well built with aluminum adjustment forks and stainless steel frames, but there are some key differences. The Alpha 2 has microfiber cloth padding and the Cloud 3S uses faux leather, which is what I prefer. For me, the best of both worlds is putting the pleather ear cushions on the Alpha 2. The Alpha 2 also has swivel. Both of these have height adjustment, and the Cloud 3S weighs about 335 grams without the mic, 347 with it. The Alpha 2 weighs 344 grams without the mic and 355 with it, so about 9 grams more on the Alpha 2. The Alpha 2 has way less clamping force overall and it is wider. The Cloud 3S has detachable speaker plates. So one of the biggest differences of these devices, if you look at that clamping force, is that the Cloud 3S naturally just rests closed together, and then the Alpha 2 rests outward with that little gap. So it is going to be looser, but it might be useful for wearing for longer periods of time. Also, the angling, they're both slightly angled as far as the ear cups are not going straight up and down, but the Cloud Alpha 2's angling is a lot more sharp. Overall, I think the Alpha 2 just seems to be way more molded to somebody's actual head shape and ear shape, whereas the Cloud 3S is just a very traditional, mostly straight up and down headset. Both of these get an A in comfort, but I wish they were both significantly lighter. These both have detachable boom mics that sound very similar. Their frequency range is 100 Hz to 10 kilohertz. They're physically interchangeable, so I wouldn't be surprised if they use the same parts. They hold their shape very well. Overall, these microphones sound okay, quite artificial. They should sound better, but here's the deal. The Cloud 3S that I'm speaking into right now has more background noise cancellation out the box. So here's a bit of keyboard typing. You're going to hear it's just going to sound like pretty compressed overall, but usually you can't hear the keyboard typing that much. So I'm typing right now. And I'll even throw on this AI noise cancellation where you probably won't be able to hear it still. Switching over, the Alpha 2's filter is weaker by default, but it doesn't sound any less compressed. The wired version of the Cloud 3 with minimal processing definitely sounds clearer than these, but the Alpha 2 and Cloud 3S do have more bass. Anyway, here's some keyboard typing on the Alpha 2 and utilizing the mic effects. This is the AI noise reduction with some keyboard typing. Now let's turn the effects off. Another awesome feature is if you take the microphones out of both the Alpha 2 and the Cloud 3S, there are integrated mics, and the sound quality is, well, what you'd expect from integrated microphones. But if you are going to be using the integrated microphones, then using the AI noise reduction can be a lot more helpful for canceling out things like PC fans or other fans, just because it's going to be picking up a lot more because of the pickup pattern. Here's what the integrated microphones sound like on the Cloud 3S, first without any noise reduction, and then now put on the AI noise reduction to cut out a little bit more of that background noise. The headphone audio is another massive difference. Both of these are using 53mm drivers. The Cloud 3S are dynamic. The Alpha 2s are considered dual chamber drivers. I much prefer the Alpha 2 sound. I measured this using my mini DSP ears, but more importantly, I played a ton of hours with both of these. The Alpha 2 has significantly more sub bass by default, and with EQ, there's actually a bit of physicality to the bass and sub bass. Still not a lot though, and this is Alpha 2. It's a generally sibilant sounding device. This is reflected over here in this graph. The Cloud 3S is very detailed in the treble and mid range, but it's harsh to listen to for long periods, and it lacks EQ potential for immersive games and other media. You can't really get any thump in the bass or sub bass in the Cloud 3S. Also, where the treble spikes up in the Cloud 3S, it actually dips down to a more manageable level in the Alpha 2, making the latter an easier listen. All this said, they're both exceptionally well tuned for FPS games. They emphasize audio that's important, like footsteps and reloads, while toning down explosions and rumbles. I like the Alpha 2 even better for pinpointing enemy positioning in Call of Duty specifically because of the way it makes gunshots pop without being too jarring. Relatively narrow soundstage on both of them. They are closed back. Well, you could say they are semi-open back because they have a little bit of venting at the top, slightly more on the Alpha 2. So while both the Cloud 3S wireless and Alpha 2 wireless do work with the NGENUITY beta, only the Cloud 3 wireless works with NGENUITY 2, which is much more stable. It's not what I'm demonstrating right now because having them both open at the same time causes some conflict. Both of these let you set up your own headphone EQ. Basically, it's the exact same interface if you're using the Cloud 3S or the Alpha 2 wireless when it comes to the headphone EQ. There are also some microphone presets that you can select for both headsets. It doesn't tell you what they do currently, and then you can set up the mic effects as well. Same with both of them. You can even set up some virtual surround sound with these settings. Same interface on both of these devices. Let me just go ahead and show it over here, just like this. Even the stable version, NGENUITY 2, isn't all that consistent with the Cloud 3S. And the Alpha 2, you actually get some more settings that you can control because of this base station. So you can change the lighting on this, and then you can also change some of the functions, but most of these they just don't work yet. And if you're using the NGENUITY beta, which is NGENUITY 3, none of the settings that you save in here, that's why I'm not going too much in depth on these, none of these actually save. So every single time that you close NGENUITY and open it back, they reset back to default. So for now, I think it's just way better to use NGENUITY 2, and only the Cloud 3S still is able to use that. The Alpha 2 cannot. So for my verdict, the Cloud Alpha 2 is overall a better headset than the Cloud 3S. It has much better headphone audio. It also has less clamping force, and the base station adds several extra features. Unfortunately, I cannot actually recommend the Alpha 2 until the software comes out of beta because the headset and base station are too reliant on NGENUITY 3, which is a long way from being finished. So ultimately, either just get the Cloud 3S or wait and get the Alpha 2 when the software is done or goes on sale. Now, if you're not already committed to either of those headsets, my main right now is the Astro A50X and the Astro A50 Gen 5. They're basically the same thing, but the A50X can be connected to multiple consoles at the same time.